Hi, my name's Nick King-Titus. I'm a marine biology teacher and filmmaker based here in South Florida. Now, today we'll be covering Molasses Reef and what you need to know before visiting the reef on your own. We'll also rate the different dive spots so you know which ones to prioritize when visiting the Keys. At Real Ocean, we've dove Molasses countless times. What keeps us coming back are the beautiful corals, the massive schools of fish, and the variety of marine life every time we go out to dive on this reef. In this video, we'll be covering the rules and regulations of the site, which mooring balls are best to dive, and what types of marine life can you expect to see when visiting Molasses. So let's dive in. The first thing you need to know before heading out to the reef are the rules and regulations before visiting Molasses. This reef is part of the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. The reef itself covers over 200 acres of the ocean floor and is one of the many sanctuary preservation areas along the Florida Keys Reef Tract. This means that you can't fish, lobster, spearfish, or even anchor on this reef. It's completely protected. All you're allowed to do is tie up to one of the mooring balls permanently attached to the reef and explore what's beneath. But trust me, it's magical. The next question we get are which mooring balls are best to dive. To me, the best mooring ball is the one that is available at the depth you want to dive. So whether you're snorkeling or scuba diving, it's really important to know how deep do you want to actually dive before you tie up to one of the mooring balls. Still, those of you that are looking for specific areas of the reef, we've got you covered. So most of the reef is in about 10 to 35 feet of water. This makes nearly the entire reef accessible for both beginner snorkelers and scuba divers. Be careful when approaching the lighthouse because it can get quite shallow. And trust me, you don't want to run aground, especially in one of these protected areas. It can be quite expensive and embarrassing for both the captain and the crew. There are a total of 32 mooring balls located at Molasses, marked M1 through M32. Even on the busiest of weekends, we've never had an issue finding one to tie up to. But if you do, make sure to just wait and one should open up quite quickly. A lot of people are often looking for the famous winch hole. This is located between mooring ball 7 and 25. The winch is thought to have originated from an Austrian sailing vessel that ran aground in the 1800s. If you swim just east of mooring ball 7 or northwest of mooring ball 25, you'll find the famous winch sitting in about 25 feet of water in the middle of a sandy patch. Be sure to take a picture or a video because it is really one of the most breathtaking parts of this site. Other popular spots are Hole in the Wall, located southwest of mooring ball 8, the Fire Coral Caves, which are north of mooring ball 1, and the Spanish Anchor, which is just under mooring ball 21. If you prefer to tie up to a specific ball, let us know in the comments below. So the last thing we're going to talk about is what animals should you expect to see when diving at Molasses? The short answer is lots of them. Normally when we dive, at the very least, we'll see big schools of grunts, all kinds of snapper, parrotfish, nurse sharks, and all other types of marine life. We'll even see the occasional grouper. You'll also definitely see a bunch of soft corals, sea fans, and other colorful growth along the coral walls. Recently, we've started to see a lot more staghorn and elkhorn corals. These are mostly outplanes from one of the many coral restoration efforts going on throughout the Keys. Unfortunately, most of, if not all, the reef-building corals are gone from not only this reef, but all the reefs throughout South Florida. It's our company's mission to help protect, conserve, and restore these ecosystems. But we won't get into that here. If you want to know more, go to our channel and watch our award-winning short film, Hope in the Water. It's a story about myself, my family, and why I started this company, and what we hope to achieve through Real Ocean's YouTube channel and our long-form documentary films that are coming out later this year. The most exciting animals that we see are, of course, the reef sharks. We see sharks on this reef probably every other time we dive. We mostly see small black tips like this one. Sometimes we see bigger ones, but that's not too common. We also see stingrays. This guide let us get up close and personal for this shot. It was exciting to see it trying to bury itself in the sand. Our cameras got a really cool angle, and it was really one of the best experiences we've had when diving Molasses. Another species we see pretty often here are sea turtles. They hang out eating a lot of the algae on the reef. We almost always see them in the seagrass flats when approaching the reef from the north. So be sure to keep a lookout for these guys when you get close. Some of the rare animals we've seen on the reef are huge Goliath grouper. We found this one on one of the many caves on the reef. It had to be at least 200 pounds and maybe 6 feet across. We also see the occasional spotted eagle ray that look like they're just flying above the reef. As many times as we've been to Molasses, my team and I can't seem to get enough of this magical place. We'll be rating many of the popular dive spots in and around South Florida on this channel. This is just the first. So with that in mind, I give Molasses an 8.2 out of 10. Only because much of the coral that was once thriving here is now bleached or dead. Still, it's an amazing spot to bring the family or even your friends to come diving for an unforgettable experience. On this channel, we're looking to give back to the places we explore through spreading awareness about the issues our oceans face. And trust me, there's a lot of them. If you've enjoyed this video and want to follow our journey to restore these beautiful habitats, please like and subscribe to our channel below. Until next time, I'm Nick, and we'll see you in the next video.